I'm Desiree and this is Probably Fine Motorsports. I am a grassroots racer out of North Georgia and I spend almost all of my free time getting my 2007 RX-8 named Dallas ready for whatever motorsports event I've gotten myself into next. And in a few weeks from now, I am headed to Robbinsville, North Carolina to participate in Chasing the Dragon, which is one of the SCCA's longest running hill climb events. But before Dallas ever gets loaded onto the trailer, there's a lot of preparation that goes into a race weekend, and I feel like people just don't talk about that enough, especially for a novice like me who is super new into this. So today I'm going to walk you through how I prepare for an event, how I study for a course, and what all goes into getting ready before I ever even touch the car.
So here we have a track map that the SCCA has put out with kind of the labels for the corners. As you can see, it is a 2.2 mile course where we cover 1,000 feet of elevation. I think that this map does not do the course justice. I much prefer taking a look here on Google Maps. And one of the other added bonuses to using Google Maps for something like this is I will not be able to make it up to Robbinsville prior to the event to do any sort of course walk or, run the course at all. So what you can do is do a little bit of a street view, and then you can take a peek at the course and do a virtual course walk, which is something that I have found helps me a ton. So as you can see, you can come along here, take a look. This is a really great tool for trying to find markers for braking zones and anything else that could help you along the course to help recognize where you're at, because like I said, I have not driven this course yet. Another thing that I like to do to help me prepare for events is taking a look at hill climb videos that others have posted from the past. I really like this video here because it gives you an angle of the road that you don't get from like an onboard video inside the car. This course is extremely textured. It is very bumpy. And this view here, I think, really helps give you an idea of what that looks like. Another thing I like to do is find a vehicle similar in horsepower to mine. This is an MX-5, so it's going to be pretty similar to my RX-8. So I will watch this to try and get an idea of driver inputs, the line through the corners, how this guy tackled everything. Yeah. So I think one thing to take away from my last hill climb to this one is this course is going to be difficult to memorize. And rather than spending the next few weeks struggling to try and memorize something I'm not going to get memorized anyways, I think I'm going to pick 2 to 3 key areas that have a higher risk, like this left-hand hairpin here, and probably this area in here towards the finish. And I'm going to focus on those because those areas are going to be a higher risk. We're going to be carrying a lot of speed coming into this hairpin here. So braking markers are going to be extremely important for me to memorize there. And same deal coming into this little back section here before finish. The finish line is actually right about here, right after you get the steering wheel straight. So I think I'm going to focus on studying these 2 sections of this course. And I will kind of work on tying everything else together Saturday of the event when I get my first few runs in there. Something else that I wanted to share with you guys is the list that I have put together just to help me keep organized. So these are some of the things that I'm going to go over on the car and make sure are packed and ready in the trailer, probably sometime later this week. So these are just a few of the things that I check on the car itself, and you know, as far as like equipment for the car goes, making sure I've got my GoPros charged and SD cards cleared is a huge one, because without that I don't end up getting footage of the events, and that's always a bummer because reviewing your own footage in between runs is definitely a huge help. I do have a rotary, so the premix is absolutely necessary. The hill climbs are the first events that I have really run since installing the roll bar and seat and harness in the car. So Hans is something that's new for me on this list. So I've made sure to put that on there because without that Hans, I would not be able to run. And the last hill climb, I actually had a bunch of parts for the car still left in the trunk, so I make sure I added that to the list so that doesn't happen again. A good idea for anybody who's doing their own work to their car is to paint pin anything that you touch on the car. That way you can just do a quick little visual check, you know, in between events, make sure nothing has moved, make sure none of your bolts are coming loose. Checking lug nut torque is a huge thing, because the last thing you want to do is lose a wheel on course. That would be absolute terrifying. The zip ties and the duct tape are essentials for me, having a 19-year-old RX-8, so that is definitely something I do not leave home without. Feel free to comment anything that you guys think might be useful to add to this list, because again, I am still pretty new at this, so this has just been my go-to. Anyways.
So that is just a short little overview of what it is I do to kind of prepare and get ready a few weeks out from the event. I will be spending some time with Dallas later this week and looking him over, checking off some of those things that are on that list, making sure that he is ready to go for the hill climb at the end of the month. I think I will be taking him to get an alignment hopefully sometime this week, because I don't know when the last time that car had an alignment was. Have no idea. Hasn't had one since I've owned it, and I rally crossed the crap out of that thing. So, I mean, I have no drivability issues with it, so it's probably fine. You see where I get the name from. It's probably fine. It's probably gonna be fine. Anyways, I thought it wouldn't be a bad idea to take him to get an alignment, since I am going to take a few months off from rallycross. So it's just so hot. It's really hot to stand out in a dirt field and do rallycross. So I'll pick that up again probably later this year when it starts to cool off a little bit, August, September-ish area. Anyways, so stick around if you want to check out the vehicle inspection with me for Dallas and check on him and see how he's doing.